that we have. All right. Now, Raju Maharaj, I would request revered Swami Sarvapriyananda Maharaj to kindly address us.
No. Is this clear? Can you hear me now? Yes. Little louder? Yeah. He'll arrange it. Let us start with the Mangalacharana. Shri Harim Paramanandam, Shri Harim Paramanandam, Upadeshtaramishwaram, Upadeshtaramishwaram, Vyapakam Sarvalokanam, Vyapakam Sarvalokanam, Karanam Tam Namamyaham, Karanam Tam Namamyaham. So namaste and welcome to the second day of the retreat on Aparokshanubhuti. Today we are going into the heart of Vedanta, into Advaita Vedanta. We will start the process of vichara, inquiry. Vichara. Atma anatma vichara. Now, before I start, a couple of words on sadhana, spiritual practice. Why I want to say this is, we already have some idea. Generally people have idea, and most of us, almost all of us here are spiritual seekers. So we all are sadhakas and sadhikas. We all have some idea about sadhana. And most of us are already doing something. That's why I want to make a special mention of this kind of sadhana. ये जो विचार है ना, ये साधन है. और इसकी क्या खूबी है? What is the unique nature of this vichara? We must appreciate this before going into it. Otherwise, we have a general idea of sadhana. Sadhana means वो जप करना होता है, वो साधन है. पूजा पाठ करना है, साधन है. भक्ति करना साधन है. हाँ, सेवा करना भी साधन है. So these are all different kinds of spiritual practices. But we must take care to distinguish vichara from these. Otherwise, what will happen is, generally, because of our preconceptions about sadhana, when we go into vichara, we feel we are studying a text. Spiritual practice is something else, spiritual practice, something else. We are studying a text. कुछ information मिल रहा है, कुछ intellectual activity चल रही है. No. Vichara itself is a sadhana. Sadhana is practice in order to achieve something. The whole of spiritual life, you have to see the different approaches of sadhana, the different pathways, and they are all valid. हम किसी को छोटा नहीं कर रहे हैं. But vilakshan, speciality, we must understand the speciality of this path. Otherwise, we will not be able to get full benefit from this path. जो हम अभी शुरू करने वाले हैं, उसके बारे में दो शब्द, just a little bit about it. One type of sadhana is that there is God, and the problem is we don't have faith in the existence of God. We don't believe in God. We don't have faith. We don't have surrender. We don't have love for God. We love the world. We don't love God. We are engrossed in the world. Now the solution for this is, that is why we don't realize God. चाह नहीं है. Do you really want it? So that is the path of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga says, transfer that wanting from the world to God. I want not the world, but God. I will be engrossed day and night, not with the world, not with the mobile, but with God. तो ये इसको कहते हैं भक्ति. Love is directed towards God. Faith, love, surrender. और उसके साथ बहुत कुछ प्रैक्टिसेस हैं. आपका भजन भी है, पूजा भी है, तीर्थ यात्रा भी है. सब श्रद्धा पर आधारित है. Belief, faith. Then there is another path. That path says the path of yoga. It says that the reason why we do not realize God is the restlessness of our mind. Our minds are constantly vibrating, very fickle. Then the solution is to settle down the mind, is to calm down the mind. Vritti ko shant karna hi sadhan hai. In that case, your sadhan, your practice will become calming the mind, quietening the mind, focusing the mind. अशांत मन में ईश्वर नहीं दिखते हैं, शांत मन में ईश्वर दिखते हैं. ये कौन कहता है? योग, ध्यान. So there the sadhana is meditation. Again, something we are familiar with. Broadly, these two kinds of sadhana, we are familiar with it. Devotion, prarthana, puja, part, rituals, the broad path of bhakti, we are familiar with it. Meditation करना है, ध्यान लगाना है, चित्त वृत्ति निरोध करना है. This also, whether we do it or not, whether we are capable of it or not, we understand. बैठ के आँख बंद करके बैठा है, क्या कर रहा है? साधन कर रहा है. कौन सी साधन कर रहा है? योग लगा रहा है, ध्यान लगा रहा है. So meditation is one kind of spiritual practice. Distinguished from the devotional practice, distinguished from the yogic meditative practices, is this special practice which we are going to talk about, the way of vichara, inquiry. Why is it called a sadhana? Because if the goal is knowledge, see the paradigm. Ignorance is covering our real nature. Ignorance is covering Brahman. If ignorance is the problem, knowledge is the solution. If knowledge is your target, then inquiry is the method. आपको कुछ जानना है, हमें सीखना है, पढ़ना है, डिग्री हासिल करनी है, तो कॉलेज जाना पड़ेगा, क्लास में बैठना पड़ेगा, टेक्स्ट बुक हैंड आउट पढ़ना पड़ेगा, जो टीचर पढ़ा रहे हैं सुनना पड़ेगा, समझना पड़ेगा. So this is the way of acquiring knowledge. Now just compare these three approaches. What is the problem? Problem is lack of faith, lack of devotion, too much desire for the world. What is the solution? Bhakti. Devotion, faith, devotion, surrender to God. By that you will realize God. That's one way. But if you say the problem is ashant man, chitta ashant hai, restless mind, then the method will be calmness of mind, quieting of mind, inwardness of mind. That is the meditative way. Chitta vritti nirodha. But if you say ignorance is the problem, agyan problem hai, then knowledge is the solution. Jnana is the solution. And how do you get jnana? Through vichara, through inquiry. Whenever you want to know anything, these days we do, straight away Google, ask Google. We ask our question, where there is inquiry. You are inquiring. बैठ जाइए. So vichara is the unique sadhana. So this we have to take it in mind. When we are going to do, we are going on the path of knowledge, we are going to start the sadhana. अभी जो हम शुरू करने वाले हैं, ये साधन है. नहीं तो ये अगर नहीं समझेंगे दृढ़ता से, तो क्या लगेगा कि अभी तो पोथी पढ़ रहे हैं, लेक्चर सुन रहे हैं, इसके बाद साधन करेंगे. If you don't understand that this is sadhana, we have this preconception of mind, now I'm listening to a lecture, now I'm studying a book, after this I will do some spiritual practice. But here in the case of Jnana Yoga, this itself, you have begun the spiritual practice. Congratulations. What is this vichara? What does it consist in? How do we do vichara? It has three steps, three components. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. You listen carefully first. You study carefully, listen carefully. What is being said? Having listened carefully, downloaded the information, try to understand what was said. Not out of Shraddha. क्या आप बोल रहे हैं तब ठीक ही होगा, मान ही लेते हैं. You are saying it, you are great, so I believe you. That is not in this path. In this path you can't do that. We are expected to understand. So, manana. Manana is the next stage when whatever I have heard from the teacher, whatever I have read in the book, I must try to understand it. And then, what I have heard and understood, stay with it. Swami Vivekananda says, tell yourself again and again, I am that or I am he, soham, until it tingles with every drop of your blood. That's assimilation. That's the process of nididhyasana, Vedantic meditation. We'll see that. That's tomorrow. Today, Shravana and Manana. Answer these three questions. One, whenever you're hearing this, what did he say? What did the teacher say? What did the book say? That is Shravana. If you can answer it, your Shravana is complete. Second, ask yourself the question, do I get it? Have I clarity? Yes, intellectual clarity. Yes, definitely. Buddhi. Have I understood what is being said? Then you have completed Manana. If you have not understood, ask questions. Debate it with yourself, with the book, with the other students, with the teacher. Ask the question in order to understand, grasp what has been said. Clarity. Pakad aani chahiye. One sadhu said, "Theek baithti nahi hai Mahatma ji." It doesn't settle properly. So it must settle properly. Then you'll get the feeling, at least I have understood it. And then finally, third question is, I'd like to put it this way, is it real for me? We are sitting here and listening to this talk, is this real or theoretical? Real. One lady in one ashram in Calcutta was giving some talk about Vedanta. In the Q&A, she came forward and she said, all this is fine, but it must be practical, it must not be theoretical. I said, what is not practical? What is theoretical in Vedanta? Madam, you are standing here talking to me, is this theoretical or practical? And she said, this is practical. It's real, isn't it? Vedanta, what Vedanta is saying is as real as that, more so. A little story I remember. Yesterday I was narrating to the monks. Some monks had come from the Anandamaya ashram yesterday. So this thing was told to me by a lady, a philosopher. So I will not take her name because it's a very private story she told me. She's a well-known philosopher, settled abroad, Indian origin. So she said to me, many, many years ago, when I was a little girl, Anandamaya Ma was in that city, and my parents used to go to Anandamaya Ma, and I would go to Anandamaya Ma also. And I would, just like a little girl in a house, and I would play around there, and mother would talk to me and give me some instructions. As I grew up, in my teens, I began to study philosophy. So she is a born philosopher. I think if you're studying philosophy in your teens, 14, 15 years old. And as I studied modern thinkers, I had skepticism. All this religion and all that Ma is telling me, is it true? It could be false. Surely she's a nice person, but she believes in all these things. But may not be true. Maybe God is not real. All these philosophers are saying you can doubt the existence of God quite clearly. So one day she said, I decided to ask her. So she said, I went, it was afternoon. Anandamaya Ma was lying on a mat. This is such a private story, so I was hesitating before sharing it publicly, but I will not reveal the name of the person, so she may not have any objections. So this teenage girl, she went in and she said to Ma that, Mother, all these things which you talk about, the existence of God, it could be that it is false, right? It could be that it is not real. It just might be that people believe it, but it could be not real. Then she said, Mother stood up, she sat up on the mat. In Bengali we call madur. So, जो चटाई है, हाँ, उस पर वो बैठ गई. दोपहर तक सोई हुई थी, वो लेटी हुई थी. She sat up and she said, come here, इधर आओ. And this girl, she went and sat down, इधर बैठो, पास में बैठो. And then she said to that girl, looking at her straight, I am sitting here and talking to you. Is this real or is this a theory? Then this girl said, it's real. আমি এখানে বসে তোমার সঙ্গে কথা বলছি, এটা সত্যি তো? And the girl said, হ্যাঁ, এটা সত্যি, this is very real. Then mother said to her, looking straight into her eyes, that know it for sure that the existence of God is more real than this. And then this lady who's a senior philosopher now, she said, all my life from that, at that point itself I knew she told me the truth. But all my life after that I've been studying philosophy, trying to understand that. I can't claim I've understood it, but I know that is the truth, what she said. So this truth, it has to be understood, and then finally the third step, nididhyasana, is it real? Not theory, is it real? So vichara, the goal, the problem is knowledge, solution is, problem is ignorance, solution is knowledge, and the method is inquiry. And inquiry has these three components: Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Listening, reasoning, and meditating. Ask yourself the questions. What did he say? Do I understand it? Is it real for me? Okay. That is the background. So we will dive into sadhana now. Not lecture, not listening to a talk. This is sadhana. And listen carefully first. Ask yourself, am I understanding this? And is it real? Take a look. Vedanta claims it is real, right now. And if we say it's not real, it's theoretical, later it will become real, then we are not getting it. Somewhere problem is there. All right. Now I would like to start with this vichara. I would like to start with verse number 19. Verse number 19. There's some reason I've selected that verse. So please repeat after me. Atma jnanamaya punyo, Atma jnanamaya punyo, Deho mangsamayo shuchihi, Deho mangsamayo shuchihi, Tayor aikyam prapashyanti, Tayor aikyam prapashyanti, Kimajnanam atah param, Kimajnanam atah param. Atman is all consciousness and holy, pure. The body is all flesh and impure. And yet people see these two as one. What else can be called ignorance but this? Atma jnanamaya. Atma is jnana, consciousness, awareness. That's the self. The body is made of flesh. Flesh and bones and blood, all kinds of matter. And yet we confuse these two. We say, I am the body. Or even if we do not say it, we think it, we feel it, we behave like that. I am this body. And he says, Atma punyo. It is holy, it is pure. Consciousness is knowledge, is pure, is holy. In what sense? It is a saying. In the Gita it is said, Nahi jnanena sadrisho pavitram iha vidyate. There is nothing as holy, as purifying as knowledge. In many senses it is holy. We'll see as we go on. And the body is impure in the sense, lot of sticky, gooey stuff is there in the body. It's a messy stuff. So let us now dwell on this. The distinction between self and not self. So remember, as I was saying yesterday, this is the first step in Advaita Vedanta. This is not Advaita. Advaita is non-duality. Here we are separating. Viveka is separating. Viveka is discernment, separation in our understanding. What is self and what is not self? One question may be asked, if I am Satchidananda, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, so tell me that directly. Why are you unnecessarily cursing the body? Body is impure, body is flesh. Why are you bothered about it? Tell me directly, I am Satchidananda, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. That cannot be done. Why not? Because what Vedanta wants to tell us, that Satchidananda itself, that we have mistaken for the body. Already, गलती हो चुकी है पहले. उसको पहले सुधारना होगा. तब सच साफ हो जाएगी. Already, it's no use telling us it's a rope. I am seeing it as a snake. You have to first correct me. It's not a snake. Then it's a rope. Directly you can't say Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. But first of all, what do you have to say? Manobuddhya hankara chittani naham nacha shrotra jivve nacha grana netre nacha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayu then only Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. First the denial, what is called apavada, has to be done. And then you will see what is revealed. First you have to uncover. There is a covering. You have to uncover it. Then what is underneath has to be seen. So, Atma Jnanamayaha. Whatever we are, one thing is common. We are always the subject. Our life is a series of experiences. From morning till night we'll fall asleep. Series of experiences. Even after falling asleep, experiences do not cease. Dreams come up. Even when dreams cease, experience does not cease. There's an experience of blankness, deep sleep. So experience, our whole life is a series of experiences. But these experiences have a structure, subject-object, knower and known. Every experience, all our life. Notice one thing is common. Always I am, you are the knower. In every experience. Right now, you are the knower. You are seeing this hall. You are hearing my words. You are feeling the body. You're feeling the temperature. So, we see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We enjoy, we suffer, we think, we imagine, we remember, we forget. We understand, we are confused. In all of this, I am the subject, the knower, the experiencer. Atma Jnanamaya. Atman is all knowledge. And this knowledge is not possible without consciousness, without awareness. It is in my awareness that you are all appearing to me. It is in my awareness I can hear these sounds. It is in my awareness that I taste the food. And Vedanta goes further. Don't say my awareness, say I the awareness. The Atman is the knower. So in all our experiences, there is a distinction between subject and object. This in Vedanta is called Jnata, Gneya, knower and known. Drashta, Drishya. Drashta and Drishya. There is this distinction between the seer and the seen. Right now you notice, all that you are seeing, they are not you. And the seer, the awareness, is not part of the scene. I'll repeat. जो दिख रहा है वो आप नहीं है, आप देखने वाले हैं, और देखने वाला कभी दिखता नहीं है. Now notice one interesting thing. All this is seen and it's separate from me. I know. It is seen. ये दृश्य है, मैं दृष्टा हूं. ये अलग है. दृष्टा और दृश्य अलग है. लेकिन अब देह को देखिए. देह भी दृश्य है. The body is also seen. I can see the body. But I am making a mistake where I say whatever I see ये सब हमसे अलग है, हम इनका दृष्टा है, इनसे अलग है. लेकिन जब शरीर की बारी आई तब बोलते हैं ये दृश्य है तो है, लेकिन ये हम हैं. तो इसके साथ हम एकता मान लिए हैं. I am the seer and whatever I see is distinct from me. But the moment I see the body, I say, yeah, I am seeing the body, but it is I. I am no longer saying that it is distinct from me. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, 13th chapter to Arjuna, beginning of the 13th chapter, Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidhiyate etadyo vetti kshetragyam tang prahu tadvidaha. This body, O Arjuna, is called a field. Arjuna might say, no, it is not. No, call it a field. This is the battlefield, Kurukshetra. So like that, like this is a field, this body is also a field. Arjuna will say, oh, I see. Then the one who experiences this body from within is called the knower of the field. Who is that? It's you. You are experiencing the body from within, but the knower and known are different. Just as you, Arjuna, are different from Kurukshetra, the field of battle. Similarly, you, Arjuna, the knower of this Arjuna body, you are different from this body. We, who are experiencing this body from within, we are different from the body. We are not the body. So, he says here, Tayor aikyam prapashyanti. People identify the two, the knower of the field and the field. The subject and the which object? This object. Only this object. I am knowing this table. I never say I am the table. Thank God. I am knowing this bookmark. I don't say I know the bookmark, so I am the bookmark. No. But when it comes to the body, I know the body, but I am the body. So here Shankaracharya is pointing out a fundamental flaw in the way we look at the world. We look at the world as separate from us, but the body is also part of the world. We don't look at the body as separate from us. Yesterday a gentleman said, that logic doesn't hold up, because suppose somebody pinches the other person. I don't feel it, but someone pinches this body, I feel it. So I have to say I am somehow, even if I am not this body, it's my body, I am connected to it deeply. Shankaracharya answers this in another one of his books, Upadesha Sahasri. So the student there says, just a minute, I am knowing the body does not mean I am not the body, because if someone burns the body, he uses the example of burning. So this is burning. I feel the pain. How can I say I am not the body? If you hit the table, I don't feel the pain. So it's an object. But if you hit the body, burn the body, I feel the pain. Then Shankaracharya's answer, use the same logic. Do you feel the pain? Yes. In that case, the pain is an object. आप पेन के दृष्टा है कि नहीं? Are you experiencing the pain? What do you mean I feel the pain? That means I am experiencing the pain. If you are experiencing the pain, then you are the subject, pain is the object. आप दृष्टा है, पेन दृश्य है. जैसे ये दृश्य है, and I never say I am this. In the same way, pain is also drishya, object. I should be able to say, I am not the pain, I am the witness of the pain. We're not saying pain is not there. Pain is there. I am the witness of the pain. क्या फर्क हुआ इससे? Witness and witness, drashta and drishya are separate. I am not the pain, it is not my pain. I am the knower of the pain, I am the illuminer of the pain, I am the prakashaka of the pain. Because I am the knower of the pain, I cannot be in pain. That story I have told many times, very nice story. Drashta drishya. So ek the, I'll tell you original one in Hindi and then translate. He goes to a Mahatma here somewhere in the Himalayas. Mahatma ji, मैं बहुत दुखी हूँ. I'm very sad. Then the Mahatma asked him, आप दुख को अनुभव करते हैं? Do you feel the sorrow, the pain? He said, हाँ, तो अनुभव करते हैं, इसीलिए हम दुखी हैं. And the Mahatma said, नहीं, अगर आप दुख को अनुभव करते हैं तो आप दुखी नहीं हैं, आप दुख के दृष्टा हैं. दृष्टा और दृश्य तो अलग होता है. तो दुख तो आपसे अलग है. आप दुख के दृष्टा हैं, दुख आपका दृश्य है, उससे आप अलग हैं. And then this man thought a little bit. ठीक बात बताते हैं. If you think like that, you will get a certain peace of mind. मन शांत हो जाता है. Even the pain will also reduce a little bit. You will still be there, but you will feel a gap, a psychological gap between yourself and the pain. I, the awareness, and the object in my awareness called the pain, separate. Then this man goes back to the Mahatma and says, आप ठीक कहते थे महात्मा जी. मैं दुख का दृष्टा हूं, मैं दुखी नहीं हूं. अब मैं बहुत शांत हूं. Immediately the Mahatma scolded him. नहीं, आप शांति के दृष्टा हैं, आप शांत नहीं हैं. Which is an important thing. The mind, see, moment mind becomes calm, I am that calm mind. But it will betray you again. Again, next moment, some problem will come, and then mind will be very disturbed. It's the very nature of the mind. Don't depend on the shanti in the mind. Never depend on the shanti in the mind. मन शांत हो, आप उसके दृष्टा हैं. मन अशांत हो, आप उसके दृष्टा हैं. और एक ही दृष्टा है. जो शांत मन का दृष्टा था वही एकदम हूबहू, कोई फर्क नहीं उसमें, वो अशांत मन का भी दृष्टा है. अशांत मन से आप अशांत नहीं हो गए. So this one, this drashta, which is the witness of the disturbed mind, which is the witness of the peaceful mind, in itself it is always peace. जो शांति का दृष्टा है, अशांति का दृष्टा है, उसका स्वरूप ही शांति है. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप शांत हैं, आप शांति खुद हैं. You are peace itself. In the Mandukya Upanishad, the name of the Atman, your name, has been said, Shantam, Shivam Advaitam, Shantam. You are Shantam. Choicelessly. You don't have to make yourself Shanta. This has to be appreciated. How you'll appreciate? Set up, bring up to a time when you are restless, turbulent. And that happens every day, little bit. Now, see how it felt. I am the knower of the turbulence, the irritation, the unhappiness in the mind, the dissatisfied mind. I am the knower. That mind calms down and becomes peaceful. I am the knower. What changed? The mind changed. Did you change? You did not change. You were awareness earlier, you are awareness now. Nothing changed in you. This unchanging, choiceless, contentless awareness, by itself it is just awareness. इसको मांडुक्य उपनिषद में कहते हैं शांतम. You are peace itself. And that peace nobody can disturb. The world cannot disturb, the body cannot disturb, the mind also cannot disturb. The world can disturb your mind, but it cannot disturb you. When this knowledge is set in the mind that I am Shantam, interesting thing which will happen is the mind also will become peaceful. For a while. It'll get disturbed, but it will be more peaceful than it is normally. It says, Atma Jnanamaya Punyo. Atma is awareness. It is purity itself. It is the knower, ever separate from the body, ever separate from the mind. And the body is Mangsamayaha. It is made of flesh and blood and pus and urine and stool and all sorts of gross things. With your permission, I will say something nasty. It's not my choice. It comes from a very ancient source. Shankaracharya's great disciple Sureshwaracharya, who is known as the Vartikakara in our tradition, who wrote commentaries, sub-commentaries on Shankaracharya's commentaries. But he wrote another text called Naishkarmya Siddhi, an independent work. There he gives many arguments, Atma Anatma Vichara. He gives many arguments. One of the arguments to prove, is this. It's a little nasty. He says, there are things which we consider disgusting, repulsive, something like stool, excreta. But we carry it around happily in our stomachs. I say, I am the body. Notice this thing. If that is shown to us, we will not see. It's disgusting. Throw it away. Flush it down the toilet. Disgusting. But he says, just 1 minute earlier, you were saying, I am that. It was in my stomach. He says, within 1 second of leaving your body, the moment it is excreted, disgusting, throw it away, flush it away, I will not look at it. Smelly, disgusting matter, feces. But 1 minute, 1 second before that, I am that. Ye main hu. What a graphic. No wonder that this argument has not become popular, because people don't like this argument. It's an unpopular argument, but a very powerful and graphic you'll never forget in your whole life. What a direct psychological blow he is giving to us, Sureshwaracharya. Kimagyanam matah param. What greater ignorance can be there? This most disgusting, repulsive, rejected matter from your body, that one you are calling I just 1 minute ago. Mangsamaya ashuchihi. The body is impure. You are, this is a libel against the body. Body will sue you for defamation. You consider this body to be impure yourself. Nobody has to convince you of that. He's just stating a fact, and he's pointing out this error in our judgment. We pass over it day and night, considering this body to be myself. If it was displayed to me, opened up, and all this content set out in a table in front, are you that? No. Is it nice? No. That's why many medical students, they cannot become doctor. Ultimately, they throw up or they faint at the sight of blood, or so we have a sense of repulsion towards it, and yet we are saying, I am that. One doctor from England or Scotland, he wrote to me several years ago, saying that suddenly I had an epiphany, a realization. I have been scanning the human body for the last 20 years. We've been seeing these scans. And I saw this scan today, and suddenly for the first time I realized, I felt, this is a machine, it's a thing. This body is a thing, it's an object, a machine. Where am I in all of this? खास करके जो डॉक्टर हैं, they keep on studying the human body, they keep on checking the human body, they begin to see it as it is. It's a biological machine. Wonderful machine. Extraordinary machine. But a machine. It's not you. It is not I. And tayor aikyam prapashyanti. Foolishly, they combine them together and say, I am this. Kim ajnanam matah param. What greater ignorance can be there? Number 20. Atma prakashaka swachho. Atma prakashaka swachho. Dehastamasa uchyate. Dehastamasa uchyate. Tayoraikyam prapashyanti. Tayoraikyam prapashyanti. Kim ajnanam matah param. Kim ajnanam matah param. Atma is the illuminer. And it is pure. It is clear. Swachha is clear. The body is darkness itself. Dehas tamasa uchyate. Tayoraikyam prapashyanti. Kim ajnanam matah param. Light and darkness, they combine together and they say it is one. Light is so clear. Darkness, shadow is so clear that these are two different things. And they say light is darkness. What greater foolishness can there be? They say means we say. He's telling us. What does it mean here? A second argument, third argument actually. We have already seen two arguments. Vichara, two arguments, though two vicharas we have been doing. One is Atma is the jnana and body is the object. Atma is subject, body is object. Therefore, I cannot be the object. I am drashta, body is drishya. Therefore, I cannot be the body. Drashta and drishya cannot be one. Argument one, a powerful argument. Another one, he said, playing on our sense of disgust. That Atma is awareness, knowledge itself. And the body is ashuchihi, impure. You're combining them and saying they are the same thing. The one which you would reject totally, you're saying I am that. So, this error, so two arguments. Shuchi, ashuchi, pure, impure, cannot be the same. Drashta, drishya, cannot be the same. Two arguments are done. What do you do with these arguments? First, you listen carefully. What was the argument? Second, say, do I get it? Do I understand the thrust of this argument? Then third, see for yourself. Clearly, body goes to which category? Me, knowledge category, or to be gross, stool category? Stool category. So I am knowledge, awareness, pure. I am drashta, this is drishya. So this is how you use the arguments. Hear, understand and see in reality. Then it will have an impact on the mind. Tab thik thik vichar hoga. Then, one thing just occurred to me. We have a Swami called Anubhavananda Saraswati. So he travels across the world giving talks. And he's known as the Smiling Swami. So he said something very interesting which I liked. He said sometimes people complain, especially devotees complain. I cannot concentrate, my mind is restless. Or why do I get so upset? I have been spiritual for a long time, I'm getting upset in the world. Why can I not be peaceful? All these complaints are there. So they say as if it is they're not progressing on spiritual path. But he says this is a great sign that you are progressing on spiritual path. How? He said, प्रश्न है कि आप कहाँ बैठे हैं? Where are you sitting? Are you sitting in the body or are you sitting in the mind or body or are you sitting in drashta, sakshi, atma? How will you know? What is your viewpoint? What is your standpoint? If you are concerned with the world, जगत को आप देखते हैं, तो आप मन में बैठे हैं. मन का काम है जगत को देखना. If you're concerned with the mind, तो आप साक्षी में बैठे हैं. साक्षी का काम है मन को देखना. Did you follow? No. See, it's like this. If we are concerned with the world, very nice point. If you're concerned with the world, वो क्यों ऐसा किया मेरे साथ? Why did that person behave like that with me? Very bad. I'm concerned with the world. But if I'm concerned with, when he said that, why is my mind getting so upset? Why am I not peaceful? Why do I get so irritated? Or why do I feel so hurt and depressed by the behavior of others? Now, are you concerned with that person? Not secondarily only. Primarily, I'm concerned with the quality of my own mind. If I'm concerned with the quality of my own mind, where am I? कहाँ खड़े हैं हम? हम दृष्टा में खड़े हैं. दृष्टा का काम है मन को देखना. मन का काम है दुनिया को देखना. If you're busy with the world, you're involved in the mind and body automatically. If you are more concerned about the status of the mind, why is the mind not calm? Why is the mind restless? Good, this is a sign of progress. You have stepped back from the mind into Sakshi. समझ में आया ना? This is an interesting point. I liked, these commonly people say. And you will notice who complains like this. It's usually sensitive people. It's usually sadhakas who are more worried about their own internal state rather than the world outside. Anyway, that's the point. Atma prakashaka swachha. So this is another argument which is being made. So you are the knower. Aap drashta hain. Good. Who can be knower? Only consciousness can be knower. Only सिर्फ चेतन ही दृष्टा बन सकता है. चेतन ही जान सकता है. चेतन ही ज्ञाता बन सकता है. I am drashta. I am subject. I am the knower. Then what am I made of? Body we know. We already said body is made of many gross things. But what am I made of? I, the knower. What is knower made of? Knower is made of consciousness. Knower is made of awareness. Atma prakashaka. What is a prakashaka? Literally, a word prakashaka in Sanskrit means illuminer. जो प्रकाश देता है. Whenever something illumines anything else, it's called a prakashaka. This light is prakashaka because it illumines the room. But my eyes are prakashaka because it illumines the light. Catch this. Not that my eyes are radiating light, no. Without my eyes being open, the light cannot be seen. So my eyes are also light क्योंकि ये प्रकाशक है. किसका प्रकाशक है? रोशनी का प्रकाशक है. और इसके माध्यम से जगत का प्रकाशक है. तो आंख भी प्रकाशक है. But the eyes themselves cannot be prakashaka because the mind reveals the eyes. Suppose I'm not attending, my eyes are open. Some people can sleep with eyes open. Some people are looking at you, but they are not looking, they're asleep. So mind is not connected to the eyes. Mind is prakashaka. Mind reveals the eyes reveal the world. So mind is prakashaka of the eyes. And Atma, consciousness, is prakashaka of the mind. What does it mean? Yesterday we did an experiment. 2 thoughts. Think of 2 thoughts. 1, 2, 3, 4. ABCD. ABCD does not know 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 does not know ABCD. But I know both of them. And I know myself also. So the thoughts in the mind is nothing but a series of thoughts. Chitta vritti. The thoughts in the mind do not know themselves. They do not know other things also. But you know the thoughts in the mind. And you know your own existence. You are prakashaka. This is called swaprakasha. You are chetana. You are consciousness. You are chit. Many words are there. Chiti, samvit, chaitanya. So you are awareness. And world, body, none of them are prakashaka. Ultimately, you alone are the prakashaka. Maharaj, you just said mind is prakashaka, eyes are prakashaka, light is prakashaka, only secondarily. The only real prakashaka, illuminer, is consciousness. Everything else depends on that. If the consciousness is shining, mind will shine. Then mind will reveal the senses. Then senses will reveal the light. Light will reveal the world. But ultimately, prakashaka is consciousness. You are the one and only prakashaka of the universe. Not a rhetorical statement, not a big claim. Just check in fact. आपका जितना अनुभूति हो रहा है, whatever we experience, isn't it that you are revealing those experiences? I am revealing those experiences. So the only light of lights is consciousness, and you are that. Upanishad, Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. That shining, everything else shines. By its light, everything here is lit up. You shining, everything else shines. By your light, everything is lit up. So Maharaj, I would like that to be true, but it's, how, what do you mean? How is it by my light everything is lit up? In your own experience, see, you are the experiencer, you are the consciousness, and the whole world is revealed to you. आपके ही प्रकाश से. मन कैसे दिखता है? चेतन का प्रकाश से. इंद्रिय कैसे दिखते हैं? मन के प्रकाश से. जगत कैसी दिखती है? मन इंद्रिय के प्रकाश से. सबके पीछे है चेतन, चैतन्य. Every day in the ashram we sing Jyotira Jyoti Ujala Hridhi Kandara. Light of lights shining in the heart. We are singing to Thakur, to Sri Ramakrishna. But what is the light of lights? Consciousness. Shining in the heart. Heart means your own heart. What is that shining in your own heart? You yourself. You, the consciousness, are shining in your own heart. Reveal. Heart means in the mind. Buddhi guhayam, Shankaracharya says. You shining, you reveal the mind. So this Jyotira Jyoti, which we are singing in the Arati every day. Jyotira Jyoti, that's also Mahavakya. Jyotira Jyoti is Brahman, light of lights. Ujala Hridhi Kandara means you are that light of lights. ये महावाक्य है, तत्वमसि. So, Atma Prakashaka, you are the illuminer of the whole universe. आप जो चैतन्य है, not you the person. You're thinking, oh nice, I am the illuminer of the whole universe. No, I the consciousness, which is common to all of us. That is the consciousness is the illuminer of the universe. Body is an object. Deha tamasa uchyate. But tamasa means darkness. It does not know itself. It does not know anything else. It does not know you. Body does not know consciousness. Consciousness knows the body. Body does not know itself. Consciousness knows the body. Body does not know anything else. Consciousness knows everything else through the body. Deha tamasa uchyate. Body is darkness. In the sense that it is non-luminous. It's an object. It's a fine biological machine. Upanishad calls it a chariot. Ratha upama, Ratha Drishtanta. It's a chariot. It's an SUV. But it's not you. Deha tamasa uchyate. Light and darkness. These people combine light and darkness and say, Tayo raikyam prapashyanti. Kim ajnanam matah para. What greater foolishness can there be there? Completely not you. And you say, I am this. I am awareness. This is an object. I am this. Two arguments have been made. When it says earlier, the first argument, Atma Jnanamayaha. And here it says Atma Prakashakaha. Two arguments. What was the first argument? You are the knower, drashta. Second argument, what are you made of? This knower, drashta, किस substance, मसले से बना हुआ है, मसाले से बना हुआ है. What are you made of? Body we know what it is made of. But what are you made of? Consciousness. So, the second argument is consciousness, not consciousness. Chetana jada. The first argument was drashta drishya. Third argument is shuchi ashuchi, pure impure. Again he repeats here, swachhaha. It's a variation on that. Clarity. Atma is consciousness only, light only. You are light only. What does it mean? When we say pure, what is the meaning of pure? Meaning of pure is, it should not be mixed with anything else. X is pure if it's not mixed with Y or Z or something else. जिसमें मिलावट ना हो उसको शुद्ध कहते हैं. In daily life also. Now consciousness is the only thing that is completely pure. It is never mixed with anything else. You might say, क्या जबरदस्ती? आप बोलने से मान लेंगे. Logic, listen. Already the logic is implied here. We have agreed drashta and drishya are separate. Consciousness is the illuminer. Everything is illumined. Now suppose consciousness is mixed with something which is not consciousness. Milavat. With a thought, with an emotion, with a body. Suppose that body, thought, emotion is part of consciousness, is mixed with consciousness. Can't it be like that? Consciousness plus. Because we say, देखो भाई, हम ये तो यही नहीं, ये कभी नहीं कह रहे हैं कि हम मांस हैं, हड्डी हैं, चाम हैं, ऐसा कभी नहीं कह रहे हैं. हम कह रहे हैं, what I am saying is, I am a bundle of body-mind consciousness. It's mixed together, one compound entity, complex entity, body-mind consciousness, वो हम हैं. I'm not denying I'm consciousness, but I'm consciousness plus body plus mind. Consciousness mixed with, consciousness में mixed है. Now, I don't know if some of you have seen the subtle logic here. The logic is, if drashta and drishya are separate, then that thing which is mixed in consciousness, it will also have to be revealed by consciousness. जो मिलावट हुई है, suppose मन consciousness से मन मिल गया है, या शरीर मिल गई है, या body is being talked about. Bodies and consciousness are together. But in that case, that जो मिलावट है, उसको कैसे जानोगे आप? वो चैतन्य से ही जानोगे, चैतन्य से ही जानोगे. Consciousness alone will reveal the मिलावट, the object. If consciousness reveals something, drashta and drishya are separate. So consciousness will be separate from it. It will not be part of consciousness. Let me repeat that. No मिलावट is possible in consciousness. Why not? अगर कोई मिलावट हुई consciousness में, चैतन्य में, तो वो मिलावट चैतन्य का दृश्य बन जाएगा. अब कैसे जानोगे मिलावट है कि नहीं? चैतन्य से ही जानोगे. सब कुछ कैसे जानते हैं हम? चैतन्य से ही जानते हैं. तो चेतन से हम जानेंगे कि वो मिलावट हुई है. अगर चेतन से आप कुछ जानोगे मिलावट हुई है, तो वो चेतन और उसका जो दृश्य वो अलग है. वो मिलावट और जो चैतन्य जिसको उसको दिखा रहा है वो उससे अलग होना है. दृष्टा दृश्य अलग है तो वो चेतन में नहीं है, मिलावट नहीं है. Think some of your thinking, processing. जो चेतन में दिख रहा है वो चेतन से अलग है, वो चेतन नहीं है. जो दृष्टा को दिख रहा है वो दृश्य है, वो दृष्टा से अलग है, वो दृष्टा का पार्ट नहीं है. तो इसको कहते हैं स्वच्छ. चैतन्य स्वच्छ होता है. दिस इज द लॉजिक बिहाइंड इट. There cannot be anything in consciousness except consciousness. अच्छा, इसका भी इसमें बहुत गहरे implications है, बाद में देखेंगे हम लोग. आत्मा प्रकाशक स्वच्छ, देह तामस उच्यते. देह तो अंधकार है. त्रयोरैक्यम प्रपश्यन्ति किम ज्ञानम अतः परम. और एक देखते हैं. How many arguments have we got so far? 3. दृष्टा दृश्य अलग हैं. तुम दृष्टा हो, शरीर दृश्य है, तो अलग हो, आप शरीर नहीं हो. शुद्ध और अशुद्ध अलग हैं, आप शुद्ध हैं, शरीर अशुद्ध है, अलग है. चेतन और जड़ अलग हैं, आप चेतन हो, शरीर जड़ है, जगत भी जड़ है, वो अलग है आपसे, इसीलिए आप शरीर नहीं हो. और एक आर्ग्यूमेंट देखते हैं. मेनी शंकराचार्य डज अ वेरी फोरेंसिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन, केयरफुल एनालिटिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन, separating self from not self, atma from anatma. 21 is a powerful one. Atma nityo hi sadrupo, atma nityo hi sadrupo, deho nityo hi asanmayah, deho nityo hi asanmayah, tayoraikyam prapashyanti, tayoraikyam prapashyanti, किमज्ञानम मतः परम, किमज्ञानम मतः परम. Atman is eternal since its existence itself. The body is transient as it is non-existence in its essence, and yet we confuse the two. Something that is eternal and something that is perishable, anitya. We combine the two and we say, I am that. I, the Atma, anitya. I am the anitya body. I, the Atma, real. I am the unreal body. Now, something has been said here which is very interesting. First of all, it's being said, self is eternal. Body is perishable. Body is perishable, everybody knows. One thing common to life is death. They said life is terminal disease, 100% fatality rate. This one disease you cannot recover from. Death is certain. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. Dhruvam janma jatasya, mritasya cha. Krishna says, of those who are born, death is the one certainty. Vivekananda says, death comes for all of us. Paupers die, emperors die, the wise die and the foolish, the learned die and the foolish die, saints die and sinners die. Everybody will die. As far as the body is concerned, death is certain and nobody has any doubt about it. Yeah. Some billionaires in Silicon Valley have doubts about it. So they are investing a lot of money to make the body immortal. Last year, 2 years back, they called from Hollywood, do you want to be in a film with William Shatner? I said, yes. Many of you may not know, but when we grew up as kids, तो इंडियन दूरदर्शन में एक ही अंग्रेजी सीरियल दो दिखाई जाती थी. एक था स्टार ट्रेक. हम लोग बच्चे थे तब. इट वाज फेवरेट. संडे को दिखाई जाती थी. वी वुड वेट ईगरली. एक ही चैनल थी. So we would wait eagerly for Star Trek. And there William Shatner was Captain Kirk. Spaceship के कैप्टन थे. So we grew up with that. तो वो पूछे कि आप विलियम शैटनर के साथ मूवी में रहोगे? I said, yes, of course. So it's a documentary. It's a कुछ history channel है. Mysteries of the unexplained ऐसा कुछ है. William Shatner is the host. ये second season का एक episode था Mysteries of the Secrets of the Yogis. How, only one thing they are interested in the yogis, how they lived so long. So Vivekananda 40 years, 39 years, they'd be disappointed, rejected. So they want to interview me, that how the yogis live long. We have to live long. I told them stories we all know in India. At least one is very well known and well documented. Trailanga Swami in Banaras is well documented. He lived more than 200 years, 280 years actually. So I told that story and one or two other stories. And then I told them, see, we don't need to live so long in the body. Body is imperishable. Body is perishable. It will die one day or the other. And the more you prolong it, it becomes difficult to keep that body alive. This subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, Jivatma, it is already immortal. It will go on to other bodies. It will not die with the death of this body. It has got many lives, it will go on for other lives also. All of us. You don't have to make any sadhana for it. Already you are immortal. Already आप अमर हैं जीवात्मा रूप से. जन्म मृत्यु चक्र में घूम रहे हैं. उससे भी पार there is the Atma. Atma is Nitya, eternal. All these theories they were not interested. So finally when they telecast it, वो सब काट दिए Vedanta. Just 280 years Trailanga Swami was alive. That was very interesting. No. Why this thing is there? Because they are completely convinced I am the body. When the body dies, I am dead. This is what they are trying to convince us. You are not dead with the death of the body. So Atma Nitya. But the self is eternal. Self is not born, no, it does not die. Awareness illumines the birth of the body, illumines the aging of the body, illumines the death of the body, and illumines the taking up another body. Atman is constant. To explain this, the way they explain it, I have to give a little bit of Navya Nyaya logic. Nyaya logic. So no time for that, but little bit I have to give here. Why? What is the way they argue? Why is it that they say the Atma is immortal? It's not born, it does not die. What is Atma? Consciousness. Consciousness क्या करती है? एक ही चीज, only one thing, experience. तो अगर birth and death होगा, it has to experience birth and death. If it experiences its own birth, it must be already existing. So it was not Atma which was born, something else was born. If it experiences death, it must be existing after death also to say, oh, I have died. So, इसको नव्य न्याय लैंग्वेज में कहते हैं प्राग अभाव चरम क्षण साक्षी ध्वंस अभाव प्रथम क्षण साक्षी. नव्य न्याय कहती है कि so there are things which exist, but there is also something called absence, abhav. भाव है, अभाव है. ये किताब इधर है. अब ये किताब इसको यहाँ से हटा लिए तो हाथ में किताब की अभाव है. तो absence, when something is not there. Now before the birth of the body, body was not there. After the death of the body will not be there. These are called abhav. अब न्याय में, in न्याय they analyze absence, nothing. Absence नहीं है. Absence को, nothing को भी analysis करते हैं. 4 तरह का nothing है. एक nothing before coming into existence, इसको कहते हैं प्राग अभाव. Nothing before birth. nothing before production. It was not there. That one is called प्राग अभाव, पहले का nothing. और मरने के बाद जो nothing होता है उसको कहते हैं ध्वंसा भाव, ध्वंस होने के बाद जो अभाव होता है. After death, after destruction, it does not, whatever is destroyed does not exist, so it's called ध्वंसा भाव. और अलग अलग तरह के अभाव हैं, अत्यंत अभाव है, अन्योन्य अभाव है, उसी में वो मशगूल रहते हैं नैयायिक लोग. Once I had the opportunity to learn about this Navya Nyaya from a great Pandit in Calcutta Asiatic Society. So one course was 15 days, 5 hours per day, 15 days. What was the topic? Nothing. Abhav. Nothing. तो उसमें ये आया ध्वंस अभाव, अत्यंत अभाव, ये सब तो प्रिलिमिनरी है उधर. नाउ द एनालिसिस इज दिस. आत्मा नित्य, कॉन्शियसनेस नित्य, कैसे आप जान लिए? तो व्हाट इज बर्थ? Birth of the body. What is birth? Birth is prag abhava charamakshana, the final moment of prior absence. जन्म होने से पहले नथिंग था, उसका वो नथिंग कब से था? अनादिकाल से था. वो उनका जन्म नहीं हुआ है, वो कब से वो नहीं है, वो कब से नहीं है? अनादिकाल से नहीं है. जब जन्म होगा तभी तो होंगे ना. थिंग वॉज नॉट प्रोड्यूस्ड, सो इट्स एब्सेंट. हाउ लॉन्ग इज इट एब्सेंट? फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग ऑफ टाइम, अनादिकाल से. तो उसका एब्सेंस कब खत्म होगा? When will the abhava end? When it is born. So the birth is the last moment of the abhava. Or last moment of abhava is birth. In order to experience that, consciousness must be there. तो वो consciousness का birth नहीं है, वो शरीर का birth है. In order to experience, how can, the logic is this, how can you experience your own birth? Your own birth is the last moment of your prior absence. So at that last moment of your prior absence, you are absent. If you are absent, how will you experience? ये सूक्ष्म विचार है. अपना मृत्यु कोई नहीं अनुभव कर सकता. क्यों? वो नैयायिक लोग बोलते हैं, what is मृत्यु, what is death? The first moment of your future absence. ध्वंस अभाव का प्रथम क्षण है वो. ध्वंस अभाव का प्रथम क्षण है. तो जिसका ध्वंस हो गया है, उसका प्रथम क्षण, उसका अभाव है, वो नहीं है, वो कैसे देखेगा अपना ध्वंस? सो अपना प्राग अभाव का चरम क्षण कोई नहीं देख पाएगा, अपना ध्वंस अभाव का प्रथम क्षण कोई नहीं देख पाएगा, यानी अपना जन्म और मृत्यु कोई नहीं देख पाएगा. And if you can see your own birth and death, then in that case it is not you who are being born or you who are dying. You are observing the birth and death of the body. Yeah. So, Atma is Nitya. Atma is not born with the birth of the body, is not dead with the death of the body. It is the body which goes through Shadavikara. Jayate, Asti, Vardhate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Nashyati. Is born. It's the body which is born. Being born, it comes into existence. Asti. Then it develops. Babyhood, childhood, teenage. Then Viparinamate, maturity. Then Apakshiyate, old age, downhill. And then Nashyati, dies. Which one is doing this? Not Atma, not consciousness. The same consciousness. Body is going through this cycle. So, body is anitya, impermanent, transient, changing, perishable. Atman is the imperishable witness consciousness. Atma nitya, sharir anitya. But further, so Atma nitya, sharir anitya, they cannot be the two. Nitya and anitya cannot be, you cannot hook them up together. One is constantly changing, the other one is unchanging. Changing and unchanging you cannot connect. Why? If somebody is running around, if you catch hold of that one which is running around, either you will be dragged along or that one will stop running. If you catch hold of the body which is ever changing, either you will be forced to change or the body will stop changing, which is impossible. So, Nitya and Anitya cannot be the same thing. That is one more argument. Next, very powerful argument. He says, Atma sadrupo hi deha asanmayaha. Atma is real, body is unreal. Atma satya hai, sharir asatya hai, mithya hai. This is a big, big step forward. Only Advaita will say this. Body is not real, body is impermanent, Atma is permanent, and Nyaya will say this, Sankhya will say this, Jainas will say this, and so on. But body is not real, and Atma is real. This one, what does it mean? So far we are saying body is there, but it's not me. I am not the body. But now we are saying body is not there. It's just an appearance. It's like a dream. It's like a fiction. What does that mean? So here we have to go into a little bit of... I will go through this quickly, the reasoning, the line of reasoning, and then we will wrap up and take a few questions. The line of reasoning is like this. Whatever belongs to something intrinsically will always be there. Whatever is borrowed will be gained and lost. Think about money. If you borrow money, it will be lost. You have to pay it back. Or the bank will come and seize. In America, it's a big problem. It's home foreclosures. So people have bought a lot of homes on loan. Now they can't pay back. The bank will come and throw you out of the home. So there are people, well-to-do people, living in car, but no house. So if it is borrowed, it is not yours. It does not intrinsically belong to you. You have borrowed it. It will be lost. A good example is, which I like, is when you're cooking potato, hot potato. Is the potato hot by itself? No. It is hot because the boiling water. It has borrowed heat from the boiling water. Is the boiling water hot by itself? No. It is borrowed heat from the hot saucepan. The saucepan, is it hot by itself? No. It has borrowed heat from the fire beneath it. Is the fire hot by itself? Don't say no. Yes, it is hot by itself. As long as fire is there, it is hot. It is not borrowed from anything else. Now notice one thing. The potato is cold, it becomes hot. If you serve it, leave it on the plate, after some time it will become cold again. The boiling water was cold, it became boiling and hot. After some time it will cool down and become cold again. The saucepan was cold, it became hot. After some time it will become cool again. Heat which is borrowed will be lost. It will be gained and lost. It will be borrowed and lost. Because it does not belong to that entity. So if a quality does not belong to an entity, it will be gained and lost. If it at all comes, it will go away after some time. Temporary. But heat in the fire, permanent. As long as fire is there, it will be hot. Because it is intrinsic to the fire. Now, this is the background. Yahan tak theek hai. Now I am going to ask an abstract question. What about existence? If something has borrowed existence, what will happen to it? If it has borrowed heat, it will be sometimes cold, sometimes hot, again cold. But if it's borrowed existence, what will happen? If it gains and loses existence, what will happen? Birth and death. It will be born, it gets existence, but it will die also, it will lose existence. Pragabhava, dvangsabhava. Pragabhava, prior absence and posterior absence. So if something borrows existence, in existence does not belong intrinsically to it. In that case, you will notice it is created and destroyed, born and dying. It will gain existence and lose existence. Just like gaining heat and losing heat. Gaining money and losing money. But if something has intrinsic existence, existence is its very nature. In that case, it will be eternal, nitya. It will not be born, it will not die. Where existence is swabhavika, its very nature of that thing is existence. It will not be born, it will not die. It will be always there. So if something is always there, in that case, existence is its very nature. We just saw Atma, Nitya. Atma is always there. In that case, existence is the very nature of the Atma. Not only consciousness, but also Sat, existence. This permanent existence is called Sat. Sat. The very nature of Atma being consciousness is called Chit. But now he has said, this Chit is also Sat. It is permanently existing. Why? Nitya. That which has intrinsic existence, existence is its very nature, it does not borrow existence, that is called Sat. That which borrows existence and loses existence, that in Vedanta is called Mithya. Anything that has borrowed existence is called Mithya. Snake in the rope, it seems to exist, actually doesn't exist. Why does it seem to exist? Because underneath the rope exists. It's borrowing existence from the rope. Whatever we see in the dream, it's false. But it seems real. It was borrowing existence from you, the dreamer. But the moment you woke up, you said, hey dream, return my existence. I need it now. Then dream becomes unreal. Similarly, body, because it is imperishable, everyone agrees, if it is imperishable, then it has borrowed existence. If it has borrowed existence, it is mithya. Anything which has borrowed existence is mithya. This is the logic in Vedanta. But everything here has borrowed existence. This house, it has borrowed existence from the concrete and the cement and the plaster. And the concrete, cement and plaster, they've all got borrowed existence from Prithvi Tattva. And ultimately all the way down to existence itself, which has not borrowed existence from anything else. Sat. Anyway, here the point is, body has borrowed existence. Hence body is mithya. Here the word used is asanmaya. So now see the argument. Atma nityo hi sadrupo. Now do you see the connection between nitya and sat? In Vedanta, whatever is nitya will be sat because it has intrinsic existence. Whatever is anitya will be asat, mithya, because it has borrowed existence. Now you see, some people argue, notice in Kathamrita again and again, Sri Ramakrishna says mithya means anitya. The world is mithya, is difficult to digest. But the world is impermanent is fine. Everybody knows world is impermanent. Chacha ji the, wo chale gaye, gujar gaye. Impermanent. Why? Gujar kyun gaye? Oh, borrowed existence tha na. Usko वापस देना है. पंचभूत से borrowed था existence. पंचभूत को चले गए. पंचत्वम प्राप्त हो गए. So, Sri Ramakrishna says Jagat is anitya. But then implicit in that is this argument. If it is anitya, borrowed existence, mithya. This, if you want a detailed analysis of this, very deep analysis is given by Shankaracharya in his commentary, 16th verse of 2nd chapter. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha. If you look at the extensive commentary, it's a philosophy of existence, Vedantic philosophy of existence, borrowed existence, intrinsic existence, and the nature of Atman as existence itself. Tayor, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, 16th verse, 2nd chapter. Na sato vidyate bhava. In the commentary, not in the verse itself, in the Shankaracharya's commentary. One sadhu said, ye to Gita ki darshanik hridaya hai. This is the philosophical heart of Bhagavad Gita. Philosophical heart. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Quick, now let us summarize. We have got 5 vicharas. Atma jnanamaya, sharira mamsamaya. So this is one. Atma is drashta, sharira is drishya. The two cannot be one. Second, Atma punya, deha ashuchi. Shuchi ashuchi. Then they cannot be. Tayoraikyam, not possible. Third, prakashaka and prakashya. That is chetana, jada. Consciousness cannot be one. Though we are saying I am the body, it cannot be one. Number 4, then the nitya anitya. Atma is eternal and body is perishable. And then sat asat or sat and mithya. Mithya is technically correct, but here asat in that sense only it is used. So Atma sadrupa deha asanmaya. 5 arguments. These are arguments and these are actually pointing to a fact. Sit and see the fact. Quietly sit and see the fact. Each one of them, see the fact. It will become clearly revealed to you, you are not the body. Same thing you can apply for the mind. You are not the mind. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Some questions here? We should give a chance to the participants, yes. That's it, not too many, because you can ask. I might not be able to answer your question now, but we'll definitely take it up in the afternoon. Please tell us your name and ask the question. Try. हाँ ठीक है. Yes, let us. हाँ. Okay. So the question was that when I analyze myself, I find myself as drashta, as the consciousness. But each person can do that. So they'll also find themselves as drashta, the consciousness. Now the question is, he was asking, he put it this way, can we have a combined consciousness? How will we come at this result that everybody's consciousness is combined? It is true. Actually, Krishna says this. Arjuna has the same doubt. And Krishna says this. When Krishna says to Arjuna in the 13th chapter, actually all of you need not stand there. We won't have time to take all the questions. Your questions we will take. All right, the first 5. Others, please go and sit down. But I promise to take your questions in the second half. All right, we'll see. Now, combined consciousness. What about that? I analyze myself as consciousness. So do you. So does she. So does he. So there are hundreds of consciousnesses. Can we come to one consciousness? First of all, are there hundreds of consciousnesses, or thousands, or billions of consciousnesses? Heisenberg is reputed to have said that consciousness is that singular which has no plural. Krishna says the same thing in the Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, when he says, this body is the kshetra, field. Arjuna, you are the knower of the field. Basically saying the same thing, drashta and drishya. Then the next verse he says, kshetragyam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. In all the fields, there is one knower of the field. जितने भी शरीर है उसमें एक दृष्टा है, and that drashta I am. Krishna says, I am that drashta. This is the Vedantic idea of God, the one consciousness in all bodies. So this is the next one step forward. हमको लग रहा है कि हम हर इस शरीर में हम दृष्टा हैं, तो हर शरीर अलग अलग शरीर है. शरीर और many, that there is no doubt. So दृष्टा भी many होगा. ये कौन कहता है? ये सांख्य कहता है. वेदांत कहता है, yes, can you? वेदांत कहता है कि कैन यू डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन दीज कॉन्शियसनेसेस. आप अगर कहो कि कॉन्शियसनेस इज प्लूरल, हाउ विल यू काउंट दोज कॉन्शियसनेसेस? व्हेन यू काउंट दीज बॉडीज, बॉडीज, यू आर काउंटिंग बॉडीज. आप मन का भी अलग कर सकते हैं. हर एक का ज्ञान अलग है, हर एक का स्मृति अलग है. वी आर डिफरेंट पर्सनैलिटीज. एज माइंड्स वी आर ऑल्सो डिफरेंट. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम बॉडी, अपार्ट फ्रॉम माइंड, प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस, कैन इट बी मेनी? इसमें सांख्य और वेदांत का बहुत बड़ा वो डिबेट है, वाद विवाद है. वेदांत सेज on the basis of Upanishads, on the basis of Bhagavad Gita, but also on the basis of logic, consciousness can only be one. तो ये एक consciousness है जो हर शरीर में उसका प्रतिबिंब पड़ता है. मन में प्रतिबिंब पड़ के उसको चिदाभास कहते हैं हम. तो लगता है बहुत. श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं अर्जुन को, अविभक्तम च भूतेषु विभक्तम इव च स्थितम. हर जो भूतगण, हर जो जीव है उसमें अविभक्त एक चैतन्य है, मैं ही हूं. लगता है विभक्त. 100 में, हजारों में, करोड़ों में, मनुष्य में, पक्षी में, जानवर में करोड़ों चैतन्य लगते हैं, लेकिन करोड़ों शरीर है, करोड़ों मन है, करोड़ों जीव हैं, लेकिन चैतन्य उसमें एक है. So this is one big important question. It will all be in the mind. When we do this kind of vichara, theek hai, I am consciousness, but she is also consciousness, he is also consciousness. How many consciousnesses? The answer is dramatic. It's one consciousness. Sankhya will say many consciousness. But Vedanta says one consciousness.
Pranam Maharaj. I'm Dhananjay Shaha. I will be asking a question that I couldn't ask yesterday. If I understood correctly, you said that there is an appearance of freedom, but we do not have any freedom. I take it as that you said it.
Yes.
Okay. So I would like you to elaborate a bit, because I would like to know a little bit about that. If we do not have a freedom, that means we cannot do anything. Or if we do anything, that within the realm of freedom, that is the appearance freedom that we have. So I just want you to elaborate a bit with the time permits.
Yeah, it will, in this tight frame of time, very difficult to elaborate on this very difficult and deep subject. It's freedom of will, free will, concept of free will. So, the direct practical answer is कि आप मान लो आपका स्वाधीन इच्छा है. Freedom of will is there. मान लो. वो मान के चलो. And then walk on the path of spiritual life, and one day you will come to realize वो मान्यता थी लेकिन सच नहीं था. The truth was, there is freedom of will is there, free will is there only for Ishvara, not for us. And everything is arranged by Ishvara for our spiritual growth, out of compassion. This is the framework in which Vedanta operates. So for our compassion, the whole universe has been created. For our spiritual evolution, out of anugraha, grace of Ishvara, the whole universe has been created. We are going through this process of spiritual evolution. And for a long time through the process of spiritual evolution, first it works on instinct, almost no free will at all, animal level. Then we come to human level and we feel free will. We do this way, things get better. We do the other way, things get worse. We understand the importance of free will and we live our life accordingly. We can make or unmake our lives. As we evolve as human beings, we come to spiritual life, and we evolve in spiritual life, we begin to feel the presence of God, divinity. And then we begin to see everything actually what I thought I was doing out of free will also was arranged by the Lord, Ishvara. And then further, when I come even further to Vedanta, and I realize I am limitless consciousness, that is freedom, but no free will anymore. So you go through many of these phases. No free will. A rock, an insect, maybe a little free will, a dog. Today one dog came, some of you may have seen, in the morning, attended the prayer, calmly, very nicely, calmly sat on the carpet, watched. I was afraid it will go into the Garbhagriha, but it did not go. Did pranams to Thakur and went. Maybe a little bit of free will is there. Maybe. And then human beings, we have free will. And when we exercise it, we become better. All our society is predicated on free will. Elections are going on in India now. It depends on free will. You go to a market and choose something. The whole consumer economy depends on free will. You come to religion, attend classes and try to practice. That depends on free will. All Bhagavad Gita, Bible, everything is written taking it for granted that you have the free will to accept or reject. Otherwise, religious instruction, moral instruction, religious instruction, meaningless. Our whole legal system is built on free will. When you punish somebody, accuse somebody, the accusation is out of free will, this person did a wrong thing, should be punished. One defense lawyers often use is restricted free will. The person did not have the free will, maybe due to illness or maybe somebody was forcing, something is there and therefore could not exercise free will, should not be punished. So illness, mental illness, something, incapacity. So free will is a given in human society, not in animal level, not in material level. And then as we go further, again free will, it's now transferred to Ishvara. And as we go further, we attain freedom, no longer free will. So this is the outline. One article I would recommend to you is why pray to a God who can listen to the sound of the anklets on an ant's feet. I have recommended this earlier, Professor Arindam Chakravarti. It's an extensive discussion on various theories of free will. In religion, in neuroscience, in the philosophy of mind, and then coming to certain conclusions. Yes.
Pranam Maharaj, Asim from Delhi. I'm just cross-checking a little. Yesterday you said, if you try to change others, it will be frustrating. It doesn't work. If you try yourself, it's a better solution, but it will also not work. Then what will work is seeing the Brahman here and now, like a child's approach you elaborated. Am I correct in my saying?
Correct.
And
Ultimately, Vedanta wahi kehta hai.
okay. And then the question is, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya has been one of the most popular verses.
Yes.
Is it true that India had to suffer a lot because of its interpretation or misinterpretation? And if this be true, how could it happen? Because till Swamiji's advent, there was a lot of adhikarvad. Thank you.
The question, if I take it that way, so ye satya ke liye, if this is this true? Brahman is real, the world is an appearance, and is this connected to India's downfall because of this? I hardly think so.
Because Indians stopped taking interest in life because whole is mithya.
Is this true really? I think historical, economic, social causes were behind it.
Yeah.
Hardly anybody was saying that, oh, invaders are coming, I will not fight. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, let me realize Brahman. How many were after realizing Brahman? At any time in society, only a tiny minority will be interested in this. How many people are in Almora and how many are sitting here? So only a tiny minority.
Maybe.
So it is not that.
That's why.
And notice, the same teaching has been given to Arjuna as a philosophy of action in Mahabharata, in the Bhagavad Gita. So yeah, people say this. I don't think this is a fair assessment.
Maybe second part was neglected, so Swamiji emphasized that Jiva Brahma.
Yes, you can give a positive construction of this, and that maybe that was the original intent anyway.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, Pranam Swamiji. My name is Amira. My question is that Vedanta tells us that we are not the mind, but we are using our mind and intellect to study Gyan Yoga, for Viveka, for Vairagya. But if this is an open secret, then for people with severe Alzheimer's, dementia, or with a child born with a mental deformity, then how can they realize their true nature? And is it possible for them to alleviate their suffering through Vedanta or another path if their mind and intellect is not functioning?
Not particularly. I don't want to say Vedanta is a panacea for all evils. So for a person who may be impaired physically, mentally, would you straight away recommend Aparokshanubhuti? No. You would recommend medicine, therapy, counseling. And when the person is interested and capable, this will help. See, if you have this knowledge, it can help you through almost every shock in life. It can help you. It will help you. But this knowledge has to be there first. It has to be cultivated. For that, certain conditions are necessary. Like we are sitting here, and if a person is already in serious trouble and has never cultivated spirituality, at that moment, if you give, you are Brahman, it won't help. It won't help. Sri Ramakrishna put it very simply, Khali pete dharma hai na. You cannot have spirituality on an empty stomach. It's lunchtime. We are all feeling. Slowly Vedanta is decreasing. So, you cannot have spirituality on an empty stomach. Similarly, you cannot have spirituality in, suppose health is crippled or terrible poverty, my whole attention is on making a living. I have many people dependent on me and I have to struggle day and night to provide a modicum of a good life for those people. How much energy and time is left for Vedanta? So I'm not one of those who says that Vedanta will have to give Brahma Jnana to everybody, from Rishi sitting in the Himalayas to the monkey jumping on the roof of the. Everybody will get Brahma Jnana through Aparokshanubhuti. No. That it is an impossible demand. When we say these things to Mahatmas in these mountains, they will say, "Tum apni chakki mein tel dalo pehle." First, take care of yourself. This is immediately applicable to you. Don't be in a hurry to apply it to others. You are here, first of all, to solve your own problem. Then only you can help others. But it's not entirely wrong also. In the broader sense, the whole philosophy of Vedanta is to be helpful to others. It's only that what will be maximally helpful to somebody will be very different depending on where that person is and what the problem of that person is. You can't apply this straight away. If you have this knowledge, you can apply it. You can apply it for spiritual problems, I can apply it for mental problems, I can apply it for physical problems, I can apply it for social, economic problems, if you already have it. But if someone does not have it and is suffering, then help is necessary, not directly Aparokshanubhuti. Yes.
Thank you.
Vivekananda said to us in the Ramakrishna order, you have to, how do you serve Shiva and Jiva? How do you serve Shiva and Jiva? By feeding the hungry, by giving medicines to the sick, by giving education to the ignorant, and spiritual knowledge to those who want it. Come. Yes.
Pranam Maharaj, my name is Soumya. I have actually two parts to the question, little outside of this text.
Little outside?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see.
What is the difference between witness consciousness and reflected consciousness? Can you help me with an example, not the sun and moon, something else more worldly? Second question is...
okay, first question. This is not outside the text. It's a good question. Difference between witness consciousness and reflected consciousness. So, always in Vedanta be like this, Naak, Kan. So immediately you have to say, hold on, what do you mean by reflected consciousness? Which one? Dikhao. So we are all feeling conscious now. We are all feeling aware now. This is the awareness in the body-mind right now. This is called reflected consciousness. And this is not the real consciousness, not the original consciousness, not the pure consciousness, not Sakshi. What is Sakshi? Vedanta is trying to show us. Now she is asking for an example. One good example, really good example is mirror and your face in the mirror. Mirror and your face in the mirror. This is my original face. And when I look in the mirror, I see a reflected face. That reflected face is the product of the presence of the original face and the mirror itself. And it is, if you actually examine what is it, it's the mirror. The glass has the property of reflecting the face. So that's also one consciousness can become millions of reflected consciousness. Imagine the barber shop example. You sit in a barber shop and there are many mirrors around. How many faces will you see? You are one. But you see thousands of faces, hundreds or thousands of faces, reflection after reflection after reflection. Similarly, one consciousness, you put up many minds, Sukshma Sharira, you will have thousands of reflected consciousnesses, millions of reflected consciousnesses. So, face, mirror, reflected face. Sakshi, mind, reflected consciousness.
So the image in the mirror is the reflected consciousness.
Image in the mirror is the reflected consciousness. The consciousness you feel in the mind is reflected consciousness, Chidabhasa. Good. Now let us...
One last, this is
Quick.
so witness consciousness, Sakshi is the pure consciousness itself?
Witness consciousness, Sakshi is pure consciousness, yes. When we say Aham Brahmasmi, it means witness consciousness, not this. All right, back again in the afternoon.
Thank you, Maharaj. We will be now going for lunch downstairs, except for those who have given their names. And then we will be able to come back to the hall by 1:45 p.m. At 2:30 there will be a viewing of the documentary. We can keep the same seats where we were seated in the morning. So we can sit at the same places.